Alright guys, welcome to our Copperhead tanning tutorial. All of my camera equipment and tools are in the ambulance, which is in the other town, getting an oil change and shock service going. So we've got a bit of a bootleg situation going. I've got the iPhone taped to a pole in the garden to try and keep it into place. We've got our snake here, which we're unsure if I ran it over with the lawnmower earlier or if Benny the cat somehow beheaded it. It's got this head wound. I mean, it's kind of a clean, it's hard to tell. But let's see, this is a 15-inch ruler, so there's 15 and there's 9.5. So we've got a 24.5-inch Copperhead. We're here in Central Virginia. I haven't seen others on the property, but you know, I've been here 2 years. I haven't seen any snakes, and ironically, immediately as I pick this up, I walk up the street to talk to the neighbors, and there's a black snake on the yard as well. So I picked that up, and I put the black snake out in the wood because we love those. But all right, let's get into how we break down the snake, and potentially we're going to tan the skin and potentially eat the meat. I've never eaten snake before. I don't know if I want to eat this snake. I'll probably cook it and see if Buttercup wants to eat it. But all right, so here we have the creature. The tool is a staple gun, and let me get you need a very sharp knife. I'll be right back. Alright, here's my sharp little knife, a Kershaw designed by Ken Onion. Looks like faux, I think that's just a print. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's real Damascus. Anyways, alright, we got this situation here. Snake is dead. We roll it over. We take the staple gun and we tack down the tail, stretch it out. I'm going to tack down the head. Alright, your knife has got to be sharp for this stuff. You don't want a dull knife screwing around here. So alright, you do a sideways cut across the throat. Try not to cut all the way through it. Okay, you're breaching the skin, and then you get the knife underneath it. Try and identify the center line. Don't go deep into the meat. You just want to keep cutting the skin back. You're dealing with the scales, so it's a little tough, but just keep working it. Don't want to tear it sideways if you're trying to tan it, so patience. It's coming apart. My thing out of the way here. I'm trying to get a even seam down the middle of the belly and cut it rather than tear it. So you got to be a little careful. I'm getting a little off course here. I'm a rookie. I haven't had too much snake encounter in my life. Uh-oh. Get near the belly and the organs, see what's going on in here. Make sure. So maybe that's a heart, something. You know, one thing that you can encounter when you're doing this stuff is if it's a pregnant snake, you can have living copperhead babies in the belly. And I'm not seeing that, thank God. But I'm not all the way through it either. All right, so there's intestines, organs. Shoot. All right, thank goodness it's not pregnant with a bunch of fucking little snakes in there. Couldn't quite handle that. All right, so stinks. I just cut the urine sac, I guess. All right, so now the snake is cut from fore to aft. And what we do now is get our staple gun again. And you want to have a board. All right. So you've got two components here. You've got the meat of the snake. You separate that from the skin. And you've got the intestines, which you're going to remove. So kind of working my finger behind the flesh, separating the skin. And what I'm going to do is take this gun and spread it out as best as you can. I don't know, my approach. I've never done this before, so I ain't claiming to be an expert. But it's 2020. Got to know your bushcraft skills. The end of the world is at hand. All the supermarkets are closed. What are you going to eat? You might have to eat a fucking rattlesnake or whatever this is. The skin is, I mean, the skin is rather delicate, it seems. So gotta be ginger with it. Oh my God. Alright, so maybe I need to, a little bit of blood coming out of it. So you guys want to eat copperhead blood? Alright, so that's kind of, there's a little bit of a tail on the thing. I don't know, let me cut into it a little more. Separate that. I see a little drop of urine on the table. I guess I cut through the bladder at some point. That's probably where the scent's coming from. Alright, so I ripped the bottom off. I'm going to go back and pin this down after the fact. So we've got the edible meat separated from the snake. And let me just go ahead and cut that completely off. Alright, so I guess if you're in dire straits, you fucking, this is what you eat, Bear Grylls style. So now I'm removing the entrails from the meat, which we have removed from the skin. Jesus Christ. I don't really get off on this kind of stuff. It's just, ugh. Alright, so this is the thing that you cook. This is the part that you cook, I guess. Probably rinse that off with some water. Whew. Alright, let me get my bucket of water for the meat. So the tail detached from the skin. Let's take this off. set this guy aside. Where the hell am I going to put the guts? Alright, break. I'm going to rinse. I'll be right back. So upon closer look at the intestines, I don't know if you can make this out, but I believe this portion here, what I think I see is a vole body, like the nose being here. This is the stomach. I don't really care to cut it open and investigate, but I think that form is basically a vole right there rather than a mouse. It's still recording. All right, I've got two things. I've got some water and some kosher sea salt. Put a little salt in the water, and then I'm going to take the edible part of the snake, put it in there, let that rinse and basically brine a little bit. Damn. And now, all right, I got to get rid of those guts. I wonder where the actual poison sac is. I wonder if I could isolate the poison sac and have a little thing of copperhead venom. Alright, so anyways, we're trying to tan the skin, so I'm going to do the best job that I can spreading this out. Spreading this out. And the idea is you have it spread tight on a board, you salt it and leave it out in the sun to cure. As far as I know, what the hell do I know? Am I some sort of snake manager? Alright, a little bit of blood on the board. Work it out, stretch it out. I find the color of the copperhead to be rather intriguing. There's, you know, the dark brown saddle on top of this like desert beige color, but it's got this sort of dusty matte quality to it. It's not like a shiny thing. It's got this like interesting matte quality. Alright, so it's a lot longer than 24 inches once you stretch it out. Alright, there we have our skin ready to be tanned. I'm just using kosher salt. I don't know if that's right. The idea is to get the moisture out of it. Throw that in the garden fertilizer. One more on this little corner. Alright, so we'll just leave that there, see what happens. My next step is to get rid of the guts and figure out how and if I want to cook the meat.